Getting on here a little bit early, but let's be honest, if you're watching the Monday Night Football game, you can cut out a little early and hang out with us. Welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this post-game Monday night edition of Believers Talk, where we talk about the game the Bills played in yesterday. Again, after the game, I like to rewatch the game, no emotions attached, and kind of take the positives and negatives from this game. And we'll talk about them today. Went live a little bit earlier, of course. I'm sorry, I didn't go live. Broke some news earlier, of course. The injury to defensive tackle Harrison Phillips. So that kind of has us in a down mood. But guys, we're still 3-0. So we could talk about that all night long. All night long. We're 3-0. We're going into Patriots week, and we'll get into that. But right now, let's talk about the post game from the game yesterday. Again, I know that the game's not quite at halftime, so we'll talk more about this when halftime hits. But right now, we want to talk about the Buffalo Bills and Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, it's 28-0, guys. It's 28-0. This game was over at kickoff, apparently. Trubisky's looking good. Not gonna lie, seeing a lot more out Trubisky than I thought it would. 20 for 23, 173, 3 touchdowns. All the Gabriel, I believe. Gabriel's 5 catches, 63 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's pretty unreal. But again, guys, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. Hope you guys can get settled in here on this Monday night. Again, Monday Night Football not exactly turning into much of a game, so you guys can join me here. We could talk some Buffalo Bills football as we get ready to talk about the win last night or yesterday, and then also get ready for New England, right? This coming week, obviously that's a big game. Everyone's gonna be talking about it. Hopefully we can show up. I mean, obviously as Bills fans, we want us to win, but the last thing we want is what's happening lately with the New England Patriots and just to get blown out before halftime. We want to see our team come through. And man, this defense is going to keep us in a lot of games this year. Hopefully that includes the New England Patriots game because this defense is for real. I know right now they're ranked fifth, but they're going to be ranked in the top two by the end of the season. That's the way this defense is playing. Have some stats to go along with that, of course, going into the game. But again, guys, welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe. Again, sad news earlier, learning about Harrison Phillips tore his ACL. So he is done for this season, but hopefully we get better news when it comes to John Feliciano. Saw him in a neck brace yesterday. Tyler Croft still in walking boot. Some other injuries yesterday. Ty Nsekhe went out. He came back into the game. That's the second time this season where he's gone out in the middle of a game and then come back in. Him and Cody Ford still splitting time on the offensive line. So when Nsekhe goes out, Cody Ford comes in, and then when Nsekhe feels healthy again, he'll switch off with Cody Ford. So that's been going on a lot this season so far. Don't expect that to change much. Also, Frank Gore seemed to be hampered by a little bit of a turf toe issue or something of that nature as the trainers, every time he came to the sideline, the trainers were checking out that toe. They were talking during the broadcast about his 1930 shoe because it looks like that's where they were from, and he doesn't have the new cleats. He still has old style cleats, but you saw the tape, it kept getting taped up, so we're not sure if there's some sort of injury involved with that or if the shoes are falling apart and he just needs new shoes. But again, guys, get ready for halftime of Monday Night Football. I wanted to get on here because, again, it's 28-0 after that fourth touchdown by Trubisky. I was like, all right, I'm getting on here. I'm not waiting any longer. There's, 15 seconds left in the half. So I want to talk about some of the positives from that game yesterday against the Cincinnati Bengals, and again, some of the negatives as well. There's a little bit of both, and to be honest with you, when I turned on this game for the second time and I wanted to watch it again, I was really expecting a lot more negatives out of this game than I actually ended up with. I was just the way the game went for the Buffalo Bills. You kind of got that feeling that we might lose it, right? We might lose it at the end. Obviously, if you joined me on either YouTube or Sportscast, I was doing a live play-by-play of the game, and Paul joined us from #Sports towards the end. And man, it was just a crazy, crazy game, crazy atmosphere, really, in Buffalo for our home opener. So again, Bills win 21-17 to move to 3-0, and that's what really matters. Right after the game, give me a second, guys. Sorry, something's going on here with the video feed, so I do apologize. But right after the game, I did chat with, or I did post on Twitter, like, listen, guys, a win's a win in the NFL, and we got to take it for that. We are 3-0, and a lot of people are gonna say, hey, we played a bunch of weak opponents. The combined record of our opponents right now is 1-5, 1-6, something like that. Two 0-3 teams, 1-1-2 team, right? So that means they're 1-8, 1-7. Well, the combined record of no 1-8. The combined record of New England Patriots is 0-9. Let's go Buffalo. Angry Buffalo sports fan. Welcome to Believers Talk, man. Just getting ready to break down the game yesterday. Some notes that I took from the game yesterday. I know that some of you may have just seen Rico from Buffalo Fanatics. He did his post game. I checked that out for a little bit. Glad to see Rico doing a little bit better. Glad that he had a good time at the game. Glad to hopefully a lot of you had a good time at the game. Mario from Hashtag Sports, he was at the game as well. And guys, remember 2019 Believers Talk, trying to give you the best Buffalo Bills coverage I can. Again, I broke the news earlier about Harrison Phillips' injury, teaming up with Hashtag Sports. Again, you saw me doing live playing commentary yesterday. It's either going to be me from Believers Talk or the guys at Hashtag Sports. Next week for the Patriots game, you're going to have Mario and Paul. So go over to their channel if you haven't already, or also join them on sportscaster.com to watch a live play-by-play reaction, get to talk to fellow Bills fans like Angry Buffalo sports fan, and just have a good time with them, hopefully in what will be a Bills home victory, another home victory. Obviously some things to clean up between now and next week if we want to beat the Patriots, but it all starts, of course, with this defense, and that's where we truly get the first positive here, right? The first positive out of this game that you have to take is our defense. Listen, guys, there are two quarterbacks in the NFL who have started a minimum of one game, and they did not throw a single pass completion in the first quarter. That's Eli Manning, and that's now Andy Dalton. And so far that we played. And the other guy, Sam Darnold, he's out now with mono, so he's not even playing anymore. But you have, and actually Eli Manning isn't either, right? He gets benched. But yeah, Eli Manning did not complete a pass in the first quarter, and now you can add Andy Dalton to that list. Man, it'd be great if we could add Tom Brady to that list too of guys who haven't completed a pass on the Buffalo Bills in the first quarter, because again, that starts an offense behind the eight ball, and that's really awesome for the Buffalo Bills if you can get them to start second guessing themselves, whether it's second guessing the time in the pocket, or it's second guessing the wide receiver routes, or it's just second guessing our safeties, where they're going to play, the blitz packages that are coming. Obviously a lot of things going into that defense that are making it hard to read for quarterbacks early in games, and that just means good things for the Buffalo Bills as we can start up early, get up on teams early, which we really haven't done until yesterday, and hopefully ride that to a victory. So we have to start with that defense. Of course, Tre'Davious White with 2 interceptions yesterday. And how about Jordan Poyer? Jordan Poyer just all over the field. He did a great job yesterday. He forced a fumble. He was in on a couple plays behind in the backfield. He tipped the ball that Trey White eventually picked off for the game-winning interception. I mean, he was just all over the field yesterday. Really good to see. 1 TD, 2 INTs, Brady last season. 1 game only throwing. Yeah, that Monday night game, Tom Brady did not throw for too many yards against this Buffalo Bills defense at all, actually. It was a lot of the run game that really ate us up. And, speaking of New England, and we'll get into that more later again, join me on Thursday for halftime during Thursday Night Football, and we're going to talk about the pregame for the New England Patriots versus Buffalo Bills. So we'll talk more about that in there. But Edelman got hurt. There's a couple other injuries. Their fullback was just listed on IR, I believe. So they have a few injuries too. So they're not exactly 100% healthy. Obviously, they still have TB12. They still have Bill Belichick. Obviously still a dangerous team, but they're coming to Buffalo. Might have a chance here to pull off this, what would probably be a big upset, right? Not too many people seeing the 3-0 Buffalo Bills beating the New England Patriots. I predicted at the beginning of the season, and stay tuned, whether it be Wednesday during my prediction video or Thursday, I'm going to let you know if I still think the Bills can win this game, and how and why I think the Bills can win this game come Wednesday and Thursday. So stick around for that. But let's get into the post game. Pianowitz loved the John Ross was contained. Absolutely. Listen, the whole receiving core was contained. I know that Andy Dalton's numbers look inflated a little bit because that last drive, right? The last drive, the Buffalo Bills, that's 2 drives really when they got the field goal, and then when they were coming down to try to score towards the end of the game. The Bills defense was playing a little bit of cover 2 deep man, and so they were leaving some guys open, and they were getting downfield. So a lot of those plays were in that garbage time. I wouldn't necessarily garbage time, but when you're up 4, they need a touchdown, not a field goal. You can play back a little bit, and that's what happened on that last drive to get them closer to the end zone. But you saw as soon as they got close to the end zone, that Bills defense tightened up, leads to that interception, the game clinching interception by Tre'Davious White, his second of the day. And here we are, the Bills, like I said, 3-0. So let's be real, we won because no AJ Green. Well, now AJ Green, Andy Dalton is 0-2 in his career when playing against the Bills without AJ Green. 5-0 in his career when playing the Bills with AJ Green. 0-2 without AJ Green. So obviously that makes some kind of difference to Andy Dalton to have that security blanket there. And maybe that is the only reason why we won, but you can only play the teams and the players that are put in front of you at the time. And unfortunately, AJ Green, even though I'm a fan of AJ Green's, even though he was not there on the field yesterday, still able to come away with that victory, and we still were playing up against the number 2 pass offense after 2 weeks. So how much better would AJ Green have made that offense? I don't know. But you might be right. You might be right. AJ Green definitely is going to add a different dimension to that offense that they currently don't have. Another wide receiver threat, always good to have. Always good to have 3 wide receiving threats on your offense. But luckily we got that win out of the way. So we're 3-0. Cincy should take and trade off everyone, beat Miami to the bottom. I don't know if Cincy's that bad, but you do have to wonder how long before they consider Andy Dalton not the answer at quarterback. Andy Dalton, maybe an average quarterback. Sometimes he looks really good, but then there are sometimes he just doesn't look good at all. And so you have to wonder, is Andy Dalton's time? I mean, they're talking. I was listening to ESPN Radio today, and they were talking about Cam Newton possibly soon being done in Carolina. I mean, if you're talking about Cam Newton being done in Carolina, you have to talk about Andy Dalton being done in Cincinnati. But one thing we know about Cincinnati, they tend to not give up on people too quickly. I mean, look at their head coach. Well, I can't think of the head coaches off the top of my head. I can see him, but that's okay. One of you will let me know in the comment section. But yeah, they didn't fire him for 13, 14 years. Too late. So Trey White did struggle against Green in 2006. Welcome, John, or 2016, 2017. Welcome, John Roberts. Welcome to Billievers Talk. Good to have you on the stream, man. Always good to have you on here. So let's get into the positive. Like I say, you have to talk about the defense, number one. Yesterday during the stream, I know that a lot, or at least some people were talking about how Dable was being predictable. And in my eyes, I don't think he was being predictable. And one of the reasons why I say that is we remember first and goal from the 1 yard line, the Buffalo Bills' first touchdown, right? I was guessing run. I think a few of you on the stream said they fooled you too. And the biggest news is he fooled the Cincinnati Bengals, right? It doesn't matter if he fools us. He just needs to fool the opposition. And if you watch that play, all the Bengals defenders merge onto Frank Gore when that ball is snapped, leaves Dawson Knox wide open. Marvin Lewis, thank you, Angry Buffalo Sports fan. Marvin Lewis, yeah, he was around way too long in Cincinnati. So we'll see how long they hang on to Andy Dalton. But talking about Dable's predictability, right? I don't think he's as predictable as people thought in yesterday's game. Now, there are times where he outthinks himself, right? And I'll say that, and I'm going to show a play here in a second that kind of proves my point. And it's a play a lot of people were talking about during the stream yesterday too. I'm just trying to get to it. It was a play that a lot of people on the stream were talking about yesterday too. It was the play where they were in shotgun formation. Allen pretends to run to his left, and then McKenzie is moving in motion to his right, and he tries to pitch it behind himself to McKenzie. McKenzie tries to go around 3rd and 1, does not get the first down. In fact, they lose yards on that play. I took a picture because I'm not sure if Allen didn't have a way to get out of this play. And I'm going to try to show it on the cam. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up here, but if you look at this is a free shot of that play at the snap. I'm trying to make sure you guys see that, so let me know if you see it or not in the stream. Because I look at this, and guys, you can count the Cincinnati Bengals on the screen here. There are 10 Cincinnati Bengals in that shot, right? So that's that 3rd and 1 play that everyone was talking about where they didn't like it. You have to look at that screenshot and you see that there are 10 Cincinnati Bengals players. The jet sweep on 3rd and 1. Yeah, absolutely, Jason. That's exactly what I'm talking about. But there are 10 Cincinnati Bengals players in the box at the snap. Josh Allen has to be able to read that too, right? And I don't know how much the coaching staff has entrusted Josh Allen to make adjustments at the line, but through weeks 1 and weeks 2, he was making a lot of adjustments at the line. And Paul from #Sports may mention this in his postgame video about how we didn't see Josh Allen really doing that, making line adjustments at the snap, because I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know if the coaching staff doesn't want him to do that as much. I don't know if the coaching staff saw something in Cincinnati that they wanted to exploit. But if you see 10 in the box and you know it's a designed run play, maybe you should audible out of it. Maybe you should say, hey, there has to be a better play here on 3rd and 1 with 10 guys in the box, with us having 3 wide receivers to the bottom of the screen. I'm just saying, maybe you should audible out of that and made a pass play. So do we blame Coach Dable for that? And again, it was his play call, so to some degree he does get the blame. But again, I think that's Dable just overthinking it a little bit, right? We have Frank Gore for a reason. We saw him at the end of the game at the goal line go into the end zone, and that's why we got him. So you need to be able to trust your boy Frank Gore there at that 3rd and 1. So we'll see what happens. But talking about Frank Gore, remember Thursday during my pregame press conference or pregame video when I talked about what the Bills need to do to win this game, 3 keys to victory. One of my keys to victory was run Gore more. And rushing attempts wise, he didn't get more rushing attempts in this game than he did in the first game. But you're talking about 14 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown, 5.4 yards per carry. That's pretty great for a guy who's been in the league for 17 years. I mean, that's a pretty great stat. 14 carries, 76 yards. We had 4.9 yards per carry as a team. So not that bad for the Buffalo Bills. Again, some were saying that Josh Allen was running the ball a little bit too much. But when Singletary goes out, maybe that's the part of the design, right? We knew people were going to eat carries they normally didn't get, and one of those was Josh Allen. And we'll talk about Josh Allen's fumble that was ruled back in a little bit here too, right before the end of the first half. But you gotta love Frank Gore, what he brings to this team. A huge touchdown at the end of the game, of course, but a couple of huge runs by Frank Gore. Busted some open as well, so you really got to appreciate that from old man Gore. Gore is a game or two away from 15K. Yeah, I mean, he's right there. He's 4th all time in rushing. I don't think he'll pass Barry Sanders this year. He's like 500 some yards away. I just don't think he's going to get that many carries to do that. You still have Devin Singletary who's going to take a boatload of those carries. You have whoever is going to replace TJ Yeldon, who's going to take some carries. And as I'm going to say that TJ Yeldon, to me, just didn't have the type of game that warrants us keeping him on the team. I know he's pretty good in the passing game, but did we really utilize him all that much in the passing game in this one? I'm just not quite sure about that. To get into some of your comments here, Jason Crandall, I would like to see less designed runs with Allen up the middle. But again, you want teams to know that you're willing to do that, right? So I think as the season goes on, we are going to see less designed runs by Josh Allen. So that's how I would keep in there. But we're going to see maybe less designed runs. But Josh Allen, he just loves making plays. So even though there were definitely some designed runs up the middle, sometimes he just likes winging it. And that leads to good things. We saw that a couple times already this season, and that leads to some bad things. And that we'll talk about that later with that bad interception that he threw where he claims he was just throwing it away. We'll talk about that. But gotta love what Frank Gore did in this game. He also had 2 receptions as well, so really appreciate what Frank Gore did for us. Another positive from this game, going for that 2-point conversion after the first touchdown. Bengals get caught with 12 men on the field, and that leads to us going to a 2-point conversion. Can think of so many times where the Buffalo Bills would have gone conservative there. The Buffalo Bills were getting on Twitter, I saw a comment where they were getting kind of bashed for punting on 4th and 1 in the 4th quarter. In fact, lots of Bills fans at the stadium were booing at that time. It was close to midfield. It was 4th and 1. Josh Allen just scrambled and came up a yard short. McDermott decides to punt the ball. A lot of criticism for that, but you have to think it was the right play at the time. Trust that defense, that top 5 defense right now, and same thing with last year, to get the job done. Did they get the job done as much as we would like them to? Probably not. We want to get off the field without even having a field goal. But we end up getting the victory anyway, and that's really the important thing. That's what comes down to. Our defense gave us a shot to win, and at the end of the game, they sealed it for us. So we really got to tip our hats to our defense. Again, the Bengals had 2 first downs in the first half, and one was that Hail Mary at the end of the first half where we were playing the goal line, so that way they didn't score on us after we missed that 62-yard field goal, which again seemed like we ran a little conservative there at the end of the half. Could have maybe got a little bit closer for Hauschka to make that kick. But it is what it is at this point. You got to choose when you take your shots. Absolutely, Daniel, you're absolutely right. You got to choose when you take shots. And again, with a team like the Buffalo Bills, you rely on that defense. Your defense is your moneymaker. So you're going to rely on your defense to do what they do best. And then you're going to let Josh Allen hopefully create on the offense. And he's been able to do that in the first 3 weeks. That leads to us being 3-0. The next positive that I have is Josh Allen. You look at that first half, 18 for 27 in the first half. That's 67 completion percentage. That's really good. The first quarter, he had more pass completions and more attempts and more completions to different wide receivers than any other quarter in his career right now. He went 9 for 12 with a touchdown in the first quarter. So a great first half by Josh Allen, and that's what we'll say, a great first half by Josh Allen. But what we've noticed, and this goes to the conservative play calling, this is kind of one of my negatives here with Brian Daboll and this offense, is he was only 5 for 9 in the second half. So we went from 27 passes in the first half to 9 in the second half. And it's been that way all 3 games, right? Last week, we talked about how conservative they played in the third quarter against the Giants. The game against the Jets, the only reason why he passed in the fourth quarter was because we were behind. So he had to. But we're seeing a trend here when we have the lead, and it's not a good trend. You know, we're watching, or maybe you're watching. If you are watching, I apologize. Right, yeah. No, Daniel, you're right. In the 62-yard field goal, they were like, oh, it's short. It wasn't short. It was just to the left. It was maybe, like, it was close to being short. Like, it was on the hash, like, on the crossbar. But it had plenty of leg, and it was just to the left. And that's fine, but we can get it closer. Maybe one of the reasons why it was to the left is because he was worried more about getting it there than was accuracy as much. But you miss a 62-yarder. I'm not that upset with the kicker in that situation. But we're either watching on Monday Night Football or hearing on Monday Night Football. This is what teams do against teams that are not as good as they are, right? The Chicago Bears are up 28-0 going into half. We had plenty of opportunity in that first half to break away a little bit. You know, we could talk about T.J. Yeldon's fumble inside the 15-yard line. We could talk about not moving the ball more efficiently to end the first half. There are certain things we did in that game that gave the Bengals a shot, and of course the Bengals capitalized, and we were lucky to get a shot to answer back, and we did answer back. But man, it was a back and forth game there in that fourth quarter, and it really, really didn't have to be. I was sitting right behind the goalpost, 4 rows up. He had the distance, missed it, about 5 yards left. Yeah, Jason, yeah, and I don't understand why the announcer said he did have the leg. I thought he did have the leg, even when I saw it on the 20-3. Oh, Daniel, the Redskins score. They have life. Yeah, that game's still over. Normally, I try to get you back for the second half, but I'm not too concerned if I don't get you back to the start of the second half of that game. Although Josh from the Sports Fury probably very happy right now as he's a Bears fan, so shout out to him. And if you guys are not watching the game after you're done watching this stream, they do live stream all of the primetime games over on the Sports Fury. So if you want to listen to 2 guys hang out, drink some beer, and have a good time and chat with the Sports Fury community, definitely do that. They're fun guys over there, so let them know Believers Talk sent you. But yeah, just that's what good teams do when they're playing bad teams. That's just the way it is, and you can argue all day if Chicago's a good team or not, but they're better than the Redskins. So, but yeah, Josh Allen, you talk about the play calling a little bit. Like I said, 27 passes in the first half, only 9 in the second half. Like to even out a little bit more. Don't mind him only passing the ball 36 times in the game. I don't mind that at all. But if you do like maybe 17 and 18 or 16, 19, something like that, spread it out a little bit more so that way the defense has something to think about even when we do have the lead. Next thing I wanted to get to is we won the quarter, guys. No matter what happens against New England next week, we won the quarter. In the NFL, they talk about winning quarters, right? You look at the first 4 games, second 4 games, third 4 games, and the last 4 games. You break it up by 4s. Well, we're 3-0. So that means we won the first quarter of our season. Now the New England game is just a bonus, right? If we beat New England at home, which again, most people are not giving us any shot, but if we beat New England at home, then we go 4-0 this quarter. It's just an added bonus, and we need to go into this game knowing that we have the same record they do. There's no reason why we can't beat them. And again, we'll get into that game later on in this week. So those are a lot of my positives. I'm gonna get into the negatives just a little bit. Just keep me updated. Absolutely, no, please do, because like I said, I had to get ready to do this, so I appreciate it. Get into some of the negatives again. We talked a little bit about the play calling. Maybe have a little bit more make it a little more even from first half to second half. Maybe not go into this prevent mode in the third quarter with your offense. Again, even against the Jets, it seemed like until we got behind 16-0, we're willing to just, mosey around, sit on the ball, hand it off here, maybe have a short dump pass, things like that. And we were in the first half, we were moving the ball down the field. It was just those turnovers killed us. Well, same thing in this game. After the first drive, we moved the ball well. In the second drive, unfortunately, just bad field awareness by Josh Allen throwing that ball away, but he doesn't hit the line of scrimmage, so out of field goal range we go, and then forces a punt by Jorges there. But the third drive, we scored a touchdown. Couple good drives in between there. I think the Buffalo Bills did pretty good moving the ball in that first half. Again, first half where it looked at Josh Allen might throw for over 300 yards. Again, doesn't hit that number quite as much as we thought he would, but only throwing for 243. But still a good first half, and then we have to be sluggish in the third quarter, as Dan just said, and then have to fight back in the fourth quarter due to that. So just wish we would have done a little bit better there. Yeah, that's my first thing. It's just not putting the game away. We had the chance to do that. I want to see them bombs to Foster like last season. Yeah, Foster has just not been anywhere. I just haven't seen much of Foster at all yet this year. You look at the box score, and he didn't even have a catch in this game. So not sure if the coverage is why Foster isn't getting a lot of looks, but we'll see. Allen has 2 comeback wins in the fourth quarter this year, and the third highest QB rating in the fourth. Just got to keep it close next week and give him a chance. He is really good in the fourth quarter. I'll give him that, and give the ball knocks a lot more. And let's be honest. Okay, so on the scoring drive, you have Josh Allen go 2 for 2. Kind of, well, the first pass was definitely a short pass. That second pass was somewhere between the 10 to 15 yard mark, but Knox kind of made that play, right? Knox just goes down sideline, stiff arms one guy, bowls over another guy, and then is taken down inside the 25-yard line, kind of setting things up for Josh Allen. I think he has 2 or 3 QB sneaks after that. A real good QB sneak when it looked like a sack that gives the Buffalo Bills a first down at about the 6-yard line to extend that drive. So that was a great job by him to do that there. And that's something everyone always talks about is Josh Allen, just his athleticism, his escapability. He's really good at what he does. So we love having him on this team, but sometimes that interception, we'll get to that now, that interception just cannot happen, guys. He has a guy draped on him, pulling him down, and he says he was trying to throw it away. And I hope that is an accurate statement. But you just can't be throwing that ball unless you know you can throw it away. He throws a lame duck pass up there that Beasley does his best. Beasley does his best to try to get back to the ball, stop I don't think it was Kirk Fitzpatrick, but stop the guy from intercepting the ball before he's unable to get there. A complete duck, and it's picked off, giving the Bengals life when they had none at that point. He returns it to the Bills' 21-yard line. They had no life at that point. That gives them a pulse in this game. They score a few plays later, and then we saw what happened, right? They go on a little bit of a run, a little bit of a tear, and it's all started with that interception. Just can't let that happen. Zay's a great run blocker. That's why he's on the field more than Foster. Zay is a great run blocker. I've been saying it for 2 years. That's one of the things I like about Zay. I want to say he's a great run blocker. I'll say he's a good run blocker, though, better than Foster. And, that's when you talk about wide receivers, that's one thing that gets overlooked a lot. Is because you're not looking at the wide receivers, right? When you look at good blocks, you hear about the tight ends, you hear about their offensive line. You don't really look at the wide receivers, but that's one thing that does get missed out. Hey, Ricky, how you doing? Glad to have you on the stream. Glad to have you on the stream yesterday too. Had a lot of fun going over that game with all of you. Again, guys, we live stream every Buffalo Bills game. Whether you're talking about myself or Mario and Paul over #sports. Next week, the New England Patriots game, you can go over to #sports either here on YouTube or go over to sportscaster.com and they will have the game for you there. The links are in the description below, so make sure you don't miss out if you enjoy talking to other Buffalo Bills fans. A lot of great chat going on today as well. Another thing that we didn't like to see yesterday were those fumbles. And I put it plural, fumbles, because that Josh Allen play was a fumble. The only reason why it came back to where he fumbled was because it was within 2 minutes. The only reason why it was in Cincinnati's ball is because they ruled that Cincinnati recovered it out of bounds. It was a bad fumble. If Josh Allen's going to run that ball right before half to the left side, it's a fine play. He gets the first down, gets 9 yards maybe. He needs to make sure he's holding on to that ball. He has it loosely in his, I think it was his right arm when he's running. The Cincinnati Bengals player just reaches from behind, pokes it out, and it's just not. It can't be that simple. Same thing with TJ Yeldon, and this is why a lot of people want us to get rid of TJ Yeldon because of that play yesterday, where again we're inside the 15-yard line, we run it to the left, and it seems like it wasn't much contact on the ball, and he loses the ball. Cincinnati recovers. That could put us up 3 scores before halftime, guys, and there's a huge difference between 2 and 3 scores, as we saw. So I'm done for this. No, I'm not done for the season. So hashtag will have you covered next week. So go to hashtag sports next week, or again go to Sportscaster. I'll be doing the Tennessee Titans game, and I believe I'm doing the game after the bye, which I believe is the Miami Dolphins as well. So don't worry about that. I will be doing. Oh no, I'm not doing the Dolphins game. I think that might be the. I forget which game that is. That might be the Redskins game after the bye too. But I will be keeping you guys up to date with which games I'm doing. I will be doing a game during our bye week as well. I'll be putting a poll on Twitter, so you guys can follow me on Twitter as well. And what game do you want me to live stream during our bye week? I did that last year. I can do that again this year as well. But no, the guys are at hashtag sports, and there's no need to boo. They do a great job. They're a lot of fun. I enjoy watching their streams. But yeah, they'll have you covered for the New England game. So you can enjoy watching it with them. I'm going to enjoy watching it with them as well. One more fumble. Yeldon is gone. I think Yeldon might be gone already. I just there's not a lot of production there from Yeldon to begin with, and then when you fumble in that situation, a situation where again you have a team with no pulse right now. You're playing a team in the Bengals that had no pulse at that time, up 14-0. We have the ball inside the 15. Even if we score a field goal there, we're up 3 scores. Definitely a whole different mindset going into that second half if we're up 3 scores. But unfortunately, just not able to capitalize. Ex-Bill London Fletcher had his number retired at halftime of the Chicago vs. Washington game. I knew there was something special going on there, so good for him. Didn't seem to affect Washington on the field, though. Seems like they're just still the Redskins. So, good to see that something's never changed. So the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, that'll be. I am doing the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, Ricky. So and I already know that for sure. So make sure after you get that turkey that you stay tuned for some Buffalo Bills football. We'll have a good time there, doing live play-by-play reaction to the Cowboys game on Thanksgiving Day. I was only booing because I thought you were doing done for the year. No, I'm not done for the year. Not done for the year at all. Like I said, the way it's set up right now is they do one game, I do 2. So they did the opening game, I did the next 2. They're gonna do the Patriots game, and then I'm gonna do the next 2. I just forget if it's the next 2 weeks or the next 2 Bills games. I don't know. I just forget the way it works. But we'll let you know when I know. Of course, I'll let you guys know. And the week prior, we'll be sure to let you guys know who's going to be live streaming it. They do a great job promoting my channel. I hope they appreciate that I promote their channel all the time as well, because they're, again, great guys, great content, just really smart. So just go over to hashtag sports, subscribe if you're not already. And then the last thing I want to talk about as far as bad things are the injuries. Unfortunately, we did talk a little bit earlier. I did the breaking news of Harrison Phillips tearing his ACL. So that's kind of bad news. We will miss him. The silver lining in his injury, however, is we have 2 defensive tackles currently on the practice squad. We have Kyle Pecco on the practice squad, and we have Vincent Taylor on the practice squad. And we just added Vincent Taylor just this month. Am I going to any games? Yes, I am going to the Eagles game in October. I believe that's 10/26. I'm going to the Eagles game the last Sunday in October, and we're gonna let you know. We're probably gonna do a meet and greet somewhere so you can hang out with us. And it's going to be a good time. I'm really looking forward to that. And if you're going to the game, I can definitely let you guys know where I'm sitting. Or if you guys let me know where you're sitting, I'll stop by, say hi. Maybe we can do like a video real quick, and I'll go live and just say hey to all my fans out there. I really appreciate all you guys, and I'm willing to do that kind of stuff. Do I think we'll bring someone up on the practice squad, or just try bringing in a vet? We do have the cap space to bring in a vet, and I was looking at some of the vets a little bit earlier. I'm not sure. I know that like Washington has 2 or 3 good defensive tackles, might go there. Arizona has 2 defensive tackles ranked in the top 20, might look there. But what we need to find is a team that has a couple of them at their that they're able to get rid of. And with defensive tackles, that's not exactly a position you want to get rid of if you have good ones, because you see what happens. Mario and Paul are fine. Yeah, they absolutely are. But we have two good ones on the practice squad. Vincent Taylor comes over from Miami, has some playing experience. Kyle Petco, free agent. We thought he might have a shot to make the team. He was on the roster bubble when he first came over. Unfortunately, he just didn't make the team. Now is their chance to sign. I think we have two of them there on the practice squad for a reason. I think that shows that they have trust in these guys, and we're going to use one of them moving forward, at least in the time being. I actually joked with someone. They were like, "Who do you think Bills fans want us to replace Harrison Phillips with?" And I said, a lot of Bills fans they'll say Duke Williams, right? They just want Duke Williams on this team so bad. They don't care who replaces on the roster. They're like, hey, bring up another receiver. And to be honest with you, hey, maybe we should get rid of Robert Foster and bring up Duke Williams. It's not like he's gonna do less than Robert Foster's been doing. But if you're a huge Duke Williams fan, maybe that's a route you can go. But we definitely need someone to rotate in at defensive tackle. And I think it's going to be Kyle Petco. I know that Vincent Taylor is going to be all right as well, but that's my personal opinion. Jordan Phillips stepped up. Jordan Phillips has been playing great this year so far through 3 weeks. It's sad to see Harrison Phillips get injured, but yeah, Jordan Phillips looked good. Stars looking good. Ed Oliver has some work to do. He does, but he's a rookie. He can have time. Again, he didn't play a natural defensive tackle in college, so it's going to take some time, but I think he's going to be just fine, so I look forward to that as well. I feel bad for Harrison Phillips. He was having a solid season. He was starting off with a solid season, and then you really feel bad because yesterday was that remembrance of Pancho Villa. He came out with the sombrero on. You remember 2 years ago, Harrison Phillips the draft pick was announced by Pancho Villa. So it's kind of just sad and ironic how things like that happen sometimes. But yeah, Harrison Phillips having a great first 3 weeks, and we wish him the fastest recovery so he can be back next year and kick butt next year. So again, that's what we're hoping to see. So those were my negatives. Again, not putting the game away when we had a chance. The fumbles, both by Yeldon and by Allen. Allen gets lucky on a fumble that he really needs to be holding onto the ball better. It looks like he's heading out of bounds, so there's no reason to try to turn up field anymore. Just get out of bounds, and that's one of the things about rushing Allen that people normally don't talk about. But when you talk about, hey, maybe we shouldn't rush Allen as much. Remember, quarterbacks aren't always used to holding on to that ball, so maybe we shouldn't rush him so much so there's less chance for a fumble. But again, you take the good with the bad with Josh Allen sometimes. Allen feels like he can make all the throws. He feels like he can make all the plays. Well, he can't, and sometimes that gets him in trouble. Another negative from this game was that interception and a couple other things. He tripped over Frank Gore's foot and fell down, fumbled the ball, was able to get the ball back up and complete a 3-yard pass to Tommy Sweeney. So that's kind of the things that he can do off the cuff. But again, do you take those with the good with the bad? Because he's not going to stop making those throws. He's not. We saw it last year a few times in his rookie season, and we want to say it was a rookie mistake. But as we saw in the one preseason game where he threw across his body, we saw Sunday, if he thinks he can make the throw, he's going to try to make the throw. And we as fans need to know, are we willing to live with that and accept that? Or is that something that we are not willing to deal with? And to each their own in that. You're all gonna have your own answer. It depends how much Allen produces when he's not making those mistakes. And right now, again, we're 3-0. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. I think Oliver has a big game against the Patriots. This is both Patriots and Bills' real official test, Week 4. It's definitely a test for the Bills. I mean, if the Patriots come out and knock us around, it's not going to look good, for the Bills, and then people will be saying, hey, when are the Patriots going to get their first test, right? It might not be until they play the Chiefs. You never know. I'm really hoping that we come out. I'm really hoping that we play well. I'm really hoping that we don't in any quarter, because again, we still haven't played a full game. One of the things I said on Thursday was we need to play a full 4 quarters. We definitely haven't done that yet. So if we're going to beat the Patriots, we need to play a full 4 quarters. But we'll see what happens there. Kyle Williams probably lost 50 pounds. That's usually what happens when linemen retire. He does look good. You saw him on NFL Network during the combine. He did look like he lost some weight, so good for him. He did come out during training camp to hang out with Ed Oliver a little bit, teach him some things. Did look like he was a little bit slimmer, so good for him in retirement. Hopefully he's enjoying himself. Definitely, we saw, if you watched Rico's post-game coverage earlier today on Buffalo Fanatics. Someone said, well, we need to get him back. Well, it wouldn't be the same. This definitely wouldn't be the same. Josh still has some growing pains to get through. It was only his 15th start. And I'm not sure it was you or someone else mentioned that yesterday during the stream when I was yelling about the interception. Like, we have to remember, he still hasn't even started a full season yet of games, you know. Again, yesterday, as you point out, only his 15th start. And he's leading a team to a 3-0 record. So do you take the good with the bad at this point? Obviously, you'll always have growing pains. Even Tom Brady at times still throws a ball where you think, wow, he really shouldn't have thrown that ball. But that's what happens sometimes. You get a little overconfident, you get a little overconfident in your game, and that's a good thing most of the time, right? We want our quarterbacks to have an ego. We want them to be a little cocky. We want them to show that they can make all the throws because we hope that they can. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out in that scenario for Josh Allen. But again, it's easier to talk about in a win. If that would have been a pick six that led to our loss, probably wouldn't be able to talk about in this type of light. But the truth of the matter is, it didn't cost us the win, so we could talk about it and say, hey, this is something he needs to improve on. Unfortunately, I feel like we've been saying this is something he needs to improve on for a little bit now, and I just feel like that's something that might not improve as much as we hope it would. You know, I was thinking about Brett Favre. You know, Brett Favre, Hall of Fame quarterback, leads the league in interceptions ever. Like, you know, and it's not even close. You know, he has like 30 or 40 more than the next guy. Like, that's how many interceptions he threw. But would you sell for that if you get Brett Favre type numbers everywhere else? And that's something, again, to each their own. They have to answer that question. He is a Hall of Famer though, so keep throwing it. Wide receivers need to help him out. Cole Beasley tried to help him out on that play. If you watch that play, Cole Beasley's definitely there trying to help him out. You can't throw a lame duck like that and expect the offense to bail you out. But yeah, you know, our wide receivers might need to open a little bit faster. But that's one of the other things we need to talk about, guys, that I didn't put on here is that offensive line. The Buffalo Bills offensive line just needs to play better. We talked about after the Giants loss, we said the right side of the offensive line looked bad. And we'll talk about after this game. You know, Josh Allen had a lot of hurries. He was hit a lot in this game. Unnecessary hits they didn't have to take if the offensive line is playing up to stuff. You know, we just talked about the injuries, and the one injury that really is worrisome is that John Feliciano injury, because John Feliciano, not only is he strong at guard, he's strong at every position, right? He's strong at tackle, strong at guard on both sides. He's definitely someone who we could use in multiple positions. So you see him with the neck brace after the game, does not look good, but I'll keep you informed on that, obviously, again, but we hope that he can be back to start next week, maybe some sort of neck strain, something I will be able to recover from. Favre only has one ring, doesn't he? 95 against the Patriots is the only Super Bowl I can remember them winning. They went and played against Denver, John Elway versus Brett Favre, but he lost that one. I think Favre only has one ring, but correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have it right in front of me. But as one of the commentator guys said yesterday, Ricky Graves, right before the Bills game, that Josh Allen just keeps improving every single game. He's also taking notice in Allen's progression this season. Well, the progression you can notice just by his fourth quarter numbers, right? This guy definitely takes this team on his back in the fourth quarter and says, we're going to win this game. You have to respect that. You have to admire that. You have to love that if you are a fan. We have seen 2 come from behind wins this season in the fourth quarter. And, you know, you even go back to that 4th preseason game, right? 4th preseason game, we're down by like 10 with 4 minutes to go. We come back and win that one. I mean, that takes heart and grit. And the starters on the bench, I mentioned this during the game, the starters on the bench noticed that. So if they can do it, why can't we mentality, right? Why can't we come back? And we've seen that in the beginning of the season. Remember, guys, we weren't undefeated in the preseason. We're actually 7-0 this season right now with 4 wins in the preseason, 3 in the regular season so far. So we're on a roll, and I hope that roll continues this Sunday. I'll take as far of numbers. I thought I had 2. I'd still take 1. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'd still, you know, even if it's 1, listen, as a Bills fan, you'll take 1 at this point. The pass blocking was the worst so far this year, and it needs to get better. That New England defense has looked really good so far this year. You know, they just allowed their first touchdown yesterday, so hopefully our offensive line does better. Give me a second. I'm gonna Google how many rings does Brett Favre have. Okay, Google. How many Super Bowl rings does Brett Favre have? 2. See, so I told you I don't know everything. Told you I don't know everything. Just curious on how many come from behind wins does Allen have so far in his career. I think he has 4. I think he had 2 last year. But yeah, he had 2. He has 2 already this season. I'm trying to remember which 2 from last season. Again, that's something that we can look up too. But maybe someone else in the comment section knows about that. Google that. But normally on I go to Pro Football Reference, and it tells you how many combined wins they have in their career. So I'm gonna look that up right now for you as I'm asked. Ask and you shall receive. Give me a second here. Game winning drives. He has 2 in 2019. We know that. I'm not gonna find it, but if someone else knows, they can definitely say it on the chat. I don't mind. But we can go back to his 2018 stats. Yeah, I mean, in 15 games he started, he's 8-6, so not that bad. Probably not including the game against Houston. So far this season, 64% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. 750 yards, so that's really good for our guy Josh Allen. And everyone's talking about how Baker Mayfield. Again, I don't know why. Maestro, good to see you in here. I don't know why it's holding this stuff for review. I don't care. I think Allen has 5 comeback wins. Yeah, I knew it was 2 or 3 last year. I think they count the Tennessee game as a comeback win because we had that Stephen Hauschka kick to end at the end of the game to win it. Trying to think. He had a come from behind drive against the Jets. The game we ended up losing against the Jets. We were down 4th quarter. He drove us to take the lead and then Darnold drove us right back to take the lead and win the game. So not that game. Trying to think what other games he would have come back in. I love this team. Absolutely, Maestro. I love this team. Love the mindset. But I really love the coaching staff. This coaching staff is so underrated. It's insane. We talk about the secondary of this team being underrated, and they are. And we saw it yesterday. The proof's yesterday. Listen, this is a great secondary. You talk about Tre'Davious White, who hasn't looked great at all times this season, right? We've talked about that on this channel. We all know how big of a Tre'Davious White fan I am. So for me to say he's not looking good is tough, but he hasn't looked good at every aspect of the season, but he did look good yesterday. And I wonder sometimes as I watch the Buffalo Bills play, I feel like some of that is more scheme than just his overall abilities, right? They're definitely playing a little bit of prevent defense in those first 3 games. But anytime again that you can have 2 quarterbacks in the first 3 games that you play against, not have a completion in the first quarter, you're obviously doing something right in the passing game. And whether you talk about Levi Wallace on the other side or Saron Neal on the other side, they're doing a great job. We even saw Kevin Johnson in the game yesterday, got sacked yesterday, doing a great job for the Buffalo Bills. We only hope that whoever takes the place of Harrison Phillips can fill that role to that extent as well, where we don't miss a beat on defense. Again, we talk about how we're starting 10 of 11 starters from last season. Well, that's still the case because Starr is still the starter. Harrison Phillips and Ed Oliver were the 2 switching off, and that's Kyle Williams' spot. Still have 10 of our 11 stars last year starting for this team. I think my boy Trey White is underrated. Every Bills fan knows that Trey White is underrated. Should have been Rookie of the Year. Should have made the Pro Bowl last season. And he hopefully will make the Pro Bowl this season. Hopefully 2 interceptions. He'll have a few more this year. Maybe he can get pick 6 in there. Because again, everyone loves stats. They don't look beyond those easy numbers, right? The interceptions, the touchdowns, all those things. They don't look at yards per completion against, percentage of completions against pass attempts thrown to, which, by the way, Trey White finished in the top 5 last season in both those categories. So, again, I think he definitely is underrated, and I hope to see more from him here this season. 2 interceptions, the Bills likely lose that game without Trey. Yeah, absolutely, depending who else is in there, of course. But yeah, I mean, he had a great game. Now, let's hope he has 2 interceptions this coming week against New England, because, guys, this is what I want to tell you. Here are my news and notes from the game this past Sunday against Cincinnati. Well, here we are Monday night, and we can just throw those away and it's now Patriots week, right? Starting tomorrow, Tuesday morning, the team's going to wake up and they're going to get ready for practice, and they're going to be hungry, and they're going to be going after that AFC East division crown. And in order to be the man, woo, you have to beat the man. And right now, Belichick, right now, Brady, right now, the defending Super Bowl champs are the man, where they're coming into Buffalo, where they're going to face a train. And that train's coming. And I hope that we run right through them this coming Sunday. And guys, it's going to be a lot of fun either way. I'm going to be hyped for it. I'm going to be very excited to watch this team against the Patriots, who everyone's, saying is one of the best teams in the NFL right now. How good can we fare? If we don't beat them, we lose by like 3 points. Is that still going to be a good taste to say, okay, we've seen what this team can do. They can go toe-to-toe with the best team in the NFL and come within a couple points. But I really want this win. I thought Hyde should have been a Pro Bowler along with Poyer too. Again, that's the problem, right? That's the problem. The secondary is so underrated. They talked about this offseason when the Madden rankings came out and they were both in the 80s. They couldn't believe it. And I couldn't believe it either, because this defense is going to make people pay this season. And I hope it starts this Sunday. Hopefully Dorsett, hopefully Gordon. Edelman's hurt. He might not even play. But even if he does, hopefully we shut them down, give Brady nothing to look at, and then our boy Jerry Hughes can get in there and get a couple sacks, get a couple pressures, get a couple QB hits. Because, guys, I know we didn't get a lot of hits on Andy Dalton yesterday. Sacks on Dalton yesterday. I think we only had 2 sacks yesterday. In the pregame, I was hoping for somewhere between 6 and 8 sacks from this team. But we got a lot of pressure on him, and we talk about how much time between having the ball and releasing it. I think it was Dalton's 2.7 seconds where he had the ball and released it. So you think they're getting the ball out quick. There's a reason for that, because they know that defensive line is coming. Hopefully we can do the same thing this Sunday. Tell it like it's the nature boy. Woo! My son's sleeping, or else I'd really go nuts. But we won't do that quite yet. Hope that Singletary can practice this week. Absolutely. I hope Teron Johnson's back and healthy. Hope he can play. Hope Singletary can play. We're going to need them. Again, New England's banged up too. They just put their fullback on IR. At the beginning of the season, their star center, he got blood clots in his liver or whatever that was. So we hope him obviously well, because his football career could be over, but you obviously have life after football. So we wish him the best there. Edelman might be out as well, so they're banged up. Let's get it done. Let's do it this Sunday. Again, guys, I will be live this Thursday with my pregame for this video. I'll have my Wednesday video out giving you my predictions for the week. So you want to make sure you stay tuned. And of course, when we find out any breaking news, whether it be updates on John Feliciano, updates on Singletary, guys, I will let you know that too. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment. If you're not watching this live, leave a comment. Let me know what your impressions were during yesterday's win against the Bengals. What was something good that I might have missed, or something bad that you feel like I should have mentioned? Let me know in the comment section below. Always enjoy you guys leaving comments. Always enjoy your thoughts. So again, thank you for watching this post-game edition of Believers Talk. If you want to go back and watch the Monday Night Snooze Fest, you go ahead and do that. Last I heard, it was 28-3. Daniel was keeping me up to date on that. But guys, I look forward to talking to you all soon. Like I said, I'll see you Wednesday, and then I'll see you live here on Thursday for that pregame to the biggest game so far this season for the Buffalo Bills. Guys, if you look at it, our strength of schedule has been so much tougher. We've played teams with 1 win at least. New England still hasn't played a team that has a win. So this will be a first test for them, first real true test for the Bills. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys can join me on Thursday, and I hope to see you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.